Hello everybody, this is Mobilio recording my video reflection for this class, EDCI 572. So my takeaways of this class is the first one would be the importance of time management. And you know, I've always created units in the past for my students, but nothing to this extent. This was gigantic, and it took a lot of time to develop. We pretty much spent the entire 8 weeks creating one unit, and for me it's like one unit for one small group of students. I teach the entire school, so that's 400 students I'm teaching, and finding time to create using this model to create all these units would be a tremendous undertaking, but it's really nice that I did it for this one, and staying on top of the whole and doing this while being on top of my whole schedule, everything else going on in my life, was challenging at times. With that, the size of this, for me, and another takeaway, the size of this unit got a little overwhelming at times, and I found towards the end I was double and triple checking my work to make sure I had every piece in there, every assessment, every worksheet, just everything. It was a lot. And I went into creating this unit thinking it would be relatively small. There's only 4 main steps, but as it went on, it grew, add in the subordinate goals and whatnot, it got a lot bigger than I thought it would. And it forced me to be really thorough in my work, and when oftentimes I am not as thorough as I should be, I'll be honest. And so that was a good reality check for me. Another takeaway is the importance of feedback. So my day gig is I'm a music teacher, and I also play music. Of course, it comes with territory. But as a musician, I'm always looking for feedback. I want to know how my playing was, how was my sound, did I mess up, what did you think, where can I improve? I want to be the best musician I can. But when it comes to schoolwork, I'm always just let's just do it and move on, get a grade, go to the next homework and whatnot. But being forced to provide feedback and then get feedback in return really helped me a lot more than I thought it would. And I was able to gain a whole lot of ideas from my classmates, and which allowed me to modify and adjust my plans to make it better and to better suit the needs of my students. And I'm going to be seeking more feedback with my schoolwork in the future, for sure. And along with the feedback comes the testing, which is getting feedback after testing it out. Usually my test lessons on my students are just me creating the unit and then doing it with them. That's me testing it out. It's not really a test, it's me actually doing it. And then, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and then modifying it for the next time I do that lesson, which is usually, it's either the next day or the next year, depending on my schedule. And by having adults test it out, I'm able to get their feedback immediately, and I can make the necessary changes, and they give me, again, feedback that I would never have thought about, first graders might not know the difference between half and whole, right? So that was that was really good for me to learn. And lastly, for my takeaways at least, I've found from this class, I've never made a unit using the Dick and Carey model. Like I said before, I've made units before, but it's only going off of the model lesson plan that my advisor in my undergrad gave me, and just kind of basing it off that and changing that and whatnot. Using the Dick and Carey model really was great because everything flowed real nicely. I was able to create a unit that would be useful to me in my real world of teaching. And like I said, everything everything flowed and it set it up really nicely for like one into the next, and that was really good to learn. My questions, just one. I'd really like to learn more about assessments, and throughout the entire process of creating this unit, everything seemed to have been broken down really nicely, and like, what do you need, this, and that, except for assessments. And assessment is very important, as everyone knows, and it's not something that you're taught. At least I've never been taught how to assess students. It's kind of like classroom management for me. Like, you go into school, no one ever teaches you classroom management, and then they expect you to be able to handle 30 crazy kids, right? But with the assessments, it's kind of the same thing. Like, no one's ever taught me how to assess kids. So I guess to put it in question form would be, what are different strategies that I can use that can be different, let me redo that. What are different assessment strategies that can be used? Because that would be really good. Because, like the model just seemed like, okay, put an assessment, and that was that. All right, I hope